It's one of the both exciting and nerve-wracking things about the role is that so much pressure is on you in one of these small moments. It's just like one click and a piece of timing there. You have to stay calm in these situations. Saint wasn't even really like, oh yeah, I'm going to steal this or whatever. You just throw out your abilities, and if you get it, you get it.
Yup.
So we'll look at game number 2 though here, how you can reset on this big stage with all of this pressure, as the bans are coming very quickly. And I do like following up this one now with the Akali ban as well to take this away from Team Secret Worlds, from Dire. It is one of the most banned champions against him.
Okay, we've got the Ryze, the Akali, and the Vi banned out by LYON. We've got the Casio, the Rumble, and the Nocturne banned out by Team Secret Wales. Once again, here in this game, Team Secret Wales has opted for last pick. They want that final counter pick. I'm guessing it's going to be for Pun. I would probably say that that's their best shot. Obviously, the Volibear had some scary moments in game number 1, but it was not enough to secure Team Secret Wales the win. So with first pick, let's see what LYON wants to go for. Again, it's only game 2 of Fearless. Yeah, there's some of the stuff off the table, but there's still so many power picks left, and Varus is going to be the choice here for LYON. Remember, this is a flex pick. Even though top lane Varus has been nerfed, it is still something that Dhokla has played many times.
Yeah, definitely very much a flex pick, alive and well, despite the many attempts at killing it from the balance team.
The rumors of Varus' demise have been greatly exaggerated.
Yes, all right. So some hovers there. Pun was like, oh yeah? Well, guess what? I have last pick, so let me look at this, York here that I could possibly pick into it or something. We'll see as they get later, and they are going to save it for him. But the Xin super early on, I like this because Trundle is already out and Lee Sin is already out due to Fearless. So definitely a very good pick. I mean, Inspired is, the type of guy, he could go with the Kha'Zix or something like that, but I don't think they need to get that spicy this early on, especially since they did win the first game. So we'll take a look, and they just go for it. Focus on the wave strategy. Sivir into Varus is a classic here. Your spell shield, always easily very effective, as well as the wave pushing and farming.
Exactly. If Varus wants to do a snap piercing arrow, sure, but if he wants to charge it for the good damage, it's very easy to block with the spell shield. So now LYON, how do they want to respond here? Do they want to prioritize that jungler, seeing it already locked in for Team Secret Wales? There's 2 out of those 6 first bans used in the jungle pool already. They want to go ahead and secure the Viktor for Saint first and foremost.
So I will say, they're like, all right, we already, see that you're not going to steal Jarvan or anything because you have Xin. So I'm happy to pick more low mobility carries.
Yeah.
But what about Pun? What about top lane? Top lane definitely, Pun plays a lot of champs that can punish low mobility carries later on into the game. Yeah, unintended, but he does play a lot of things that in team fights will be looking directly, whether it's a top lane, Varus, or bot lane at the back line there. So we'll see if they can punish it, because they do have On the Hunt from Sivir to allow some more dive from themselves. So TSW very well could go for more of that, but they expected the Orianna because they left it up here. Yeah, they actually weren't even keeping track. We weren't even keeping track of the Orianna still being up, but they wanted the Viktor anyways, and they took it first, and then preemptively took the Jarvan, assuming that TSW are going to go with the Orianna, which has been such a highly prized champion.
And generally when Orianna gets picked, if you don't already have your mid laner, you see things like Akali picked into it, things that can provide that side lane pressure, since Orianna is typically vulnerable there later on in the game. But up against Viktor, it's just control mage versus control mage. But I will say, this is 2 utterly immobile carries on the side of Team Secret Wales up against Cataclysm. Definitely some playmaking potential there for Inspire.
Yeah, definitely agree. And he has been quite good on the Jarvan previously. Inspired's Jarvan is not just about punishing low mobility carries. He has done a lot of invading and gets very creative. When he has this champion, he changes the way he plays pretty significantly. And the team puts a lot of effort, especially into level 1s, getting information on the enemy jungle so they can steal away camps or go for invades and punish, especially towards bottom lane. So we'll see about the early stages. The Astra respect here to Dhokla's top lane Varus, possibilities, and LYON keeping that one a flex pick is paid, as is the answer with the earlier aforementioned hover onto the York that they were already kind of trying to get in their heads, and Dara may be like, yeah, I could do this counter pick.
Yeah, we've got that Jace banned away too. Just like in game number 1, as soon as the Whales see Lion ban out Yorick, they ban out the Jace in response. One more ban to go here for Lion before we get into the second half of the draft. I'm still very curious where this Varus is going to end up. Obviously, we're going to learn that here very soon. The Olaf banned away, so again, it's a double ban towards Pun.
Yeah, and Olaf is very, very scary for a lot of those matchups, so definitely well worth the respect. Let's see what they do decide to round it out with. So I'm going to go for some engage for BA. We've talked a lot about his support Skarner, but we have yet to see it here at MSI, even though he did use it very heavily in playoffs. Here you go, something that can punish those low mobility carries, Flowers. The Bard still up and available. Good pairing, and it's always good into the Viktor and the Varus to try and get their flashes.
And you saw right there when it was locked in, 8-3 so far at the event, has been a very powerful pick throughout MSI thus far. And now, what is the response here for the Lion side? The Camille being hovered, this one I think is going to cause a little bit of a scare for NA fans. Isles' Camille performance has not been impressive so far in the tournament, but Lion is going to lock it in, say, all right, we've got faith that Isles can make the plays on this.
You know what? I'm going to default to trust again, all right?
Okay.
His Pike game was also really, really scary. Like, I feel like just the fact that Keria exists, Keria is just like making all the supports play these things that have very high skill ceilings and can be difficult to pull off. But you know what? They're confident in him, so they're going to put the trust back in him to go on the Camille. And Camille, Jarvan, and Gnar, that is plenty of stuff to try and pressure Orianna and Sivir. So, it does make sense as long as they can actually execute on the champions. And of course, remember why Camille, one of the biggest times that it came out was always into the Bard. It's very good into the Bard. Yep. You can ult him, you can trap, cannot get away with those magical journeys. And we'll see if he is able to execute with it. Topside, you mentioned the Jax earlier on previously, but Pun is going to bring out that Jax into the Gnar here, so top lane carry alive and well. We'll see about these roaming supports and which one will, in the end, have the bigger impact.
I feel like Isles had a good game 1 on his Alistar. The 2v2 kill in the bottom lane early on, the big 3-man knockup at the end of the game to guarantee they were able to push for the win right then and there. But Isles' Camille, again, this is one that has not proven itself yet. This is Isles being given the trust by his team to show that he's got what it takes. And despite the fact that it's pretty easy to hit hook shots, Hextech Ultimatum is obviously a targeted ultimate, it's more about your timing. It's about your decision making. This champion is not tanky. You're not Alistar. You don't get a I can't die button. If you go in at even slightly the wrong time, it's very easy for the enemy team to punish. So Isles has to make his decisions very wisely.
Certainly does. The team, though, as I said, they've got a lot of engage at their disposal. So at the very least, he won't be going in alone,
No, sir.
He's got big Dokes and Inspired as well as other forms of engage to either lead or follow. So we'll see. Can the Bard also use some good Bard defensive ultimates?
Yes.
Another possible answer here from BA. And Team Secret Wells looking to bounce back after the previous one. Of course, big turning point, of course, was Saint just being able to grab the Baron right out from under Hizto with the early smite. And so sometimes that does stick in your head, especially if it happens multiple times at a tournament. As a jungler, you always just gotta, clear your thoughts, try and take some deep breaths before smites, and hold steady.
We also, again, both the carries on the side of Team Secret Whales being immobile except for the flashes means that you have a chance to make the, all right, what's a good term? We'll call it the fuse box, the Cataclysm, plus the Arcane Storm from the Viktor to lock him up and find a ton of damage there if Lion can get that combo synced up correctly. Down here in the bottom lane, BA and Eddie trying to use the fact that they got double range to zone Berserker and Isles away early. Berserker will sidestep away from the Cosmic Binding there. Fires back with a piercing arrow. Both junglers, remember in game number 1, they started topside, pathed their way towards bot. This time around, we're going to have them both starting on the respective red side jungles, so they'll end up on opposite sides of the rift.
Yeah, and it's a good point too, because in Champs Select we talked about how Inspired does, do some interesting things sometimes with Jarvan, going for those early invades or splitting the map, but the double defensive wards there really early on from TSW. I think that's good read here, just to make sure that you can try and keep track of the points of entry for a Jarvan, as the trading does get very heavy down here, and he is coming. So it's going to be kind of a classic, the 3 camp, and then look for the setup. Jarvan can go over this wall, and if the observers are giving us any indication, he might be wrapping around here. I love this game. Yeah, so he wraps all the way around that ward that is in the river, so he's doing it again.
Berserker and Isles stepping forward. There it is, the flash with a hook shot. Eddie trying to get himself away as Inspired has made his way into the bottom lane. He gets the assist thanks to the attack speed from the flag, but he didn't even have to touch him.
And that's why we call it out, especially with the Jarvan flower. So creative, so mobile, over the back of the pit, around through the enemy jungle, and even with TSW trying to cut off the vision from both areas of entry into the river. The oldest and most classic, they don't have one that can see you going through the Dragon Pit. And Inspired does still make it happen. Converts with the Jarvan early gank. Okay, so after the recall too, it didn't take him very much time, so very quick recall from him too. Is it going to lose much time? Isles on his reset with the Camille going to come out, make sure they guarantee protection on the top side Scuttle Crab in case there was any alteration of the jungle path from Hizto to go over there, but there was not, so that one will also be secured for them. Currently though, Hizto with his full clear finished.
Yep, Saint trying to get away from the gank here in the mid lane. Hizto with a 3rd talent strike does collide with Saint. Over the wall goes Isles, but it's too little, it's too late. Saint trying to save his flash a little bit too long, still gets knocked up and he falls.
Also, I gotta be honest, I don't like the placement of his gravity field here, as Inspired's gonna fight Hizto for a while.
Yeah, Hizto down to 300 HP. Isles has showed up to the fight, but since BA and D-Ray are both here, LYON is not gonna chase this any further.
Yeah, it's a little rough on the placement of the gravity field, because it's kind of easy versus Xin, and you can usually like, try and force the Xin to at least flash or something, but Hizto ends up not even having to invest his flash to follow Saint there, and Saint does go down, does burn his flash. So we mentioned can be some inconsistencies sometime from him, and not able to outplay as the big gank comes through. And in the end, Hizto, he just got to do normal clear on his jungle path before, as Pun getting a little low, but he got to do a very normal clear and then still get a very efficient gank. So while Inspired did get off the early 3 camp and alternate path down to bottom side, Inspired's going to be dealing with some awkward respawns on his jungle camps because of that. The top side ones are going to be desynced a little bit with the extra time spent for the gank. Meanwhile, Hizto has a very clean re-clear on his next clear, because he just did full clear into gank through mid, and they got the kill on the gank through mid very efficiently, so he can just do another smooth one, and he's actually passing through mid again, as you see on the mini-map.
Yep, and his purchase also feels a lot better. Has the tunneler. As Saint tries to get away, drops the gravity field, does get the stun this time around. It's going to keep him alive, but he's down to 200 HP. He's already used his teleport. There's a massive wave about to crash into the turret, and you can see Inspired already heading towards that mid lane, trying to make sure that his mid laner does not end up having to lose the entire wave here, as BA is going to be taken very low, but he gets away with a magical journey through the wall. Hizto showing up here in the bottom lane, and it means that LYON loses out again. Team Secret Whales 2-1.
And BA, he lives. Only one more auto would have taken him down, but he draws them in for the gank, and Hizto's there. Another successful gank from Team Secret Whales.
D-Ray has the shockwave available now, but not going to try to do anything cheeky or sneaky here against Saint. Just going to go ahead, back up away from that one. As Team Secret Whales finding a couple of good moves here early on. Saint stepping very far forward.
Brother.
I'm not really sure what this was, but Team Secret Whales is happy to receive the gift. Isles comes in with a hook shot, at least gets the flashback out of D-Ray, but it's still a 1-0 favor in the Secret Whales, as Inspired's now looking from an angle here onto Hizto. Berserker's coming up behind him, but Hizto is already safe and in the clear.
Yeah, man, they are just running this Viktor down.
Flash coming out from Pun there with the counter-strike, gets the stun on a Dhokla, forces the flash out of the Gnar.
Okay, flash is traded. Steel Cap's rush from Pun is good for the matchup, but the Viktor, I mean, Saint, yeah, they're going to keep on sending at him. D-Ray did use his ultimate for that one, so the Shockwave also used, so ultimate's traded for the mid lane, but you have to worry about roam timers as well. Topside, Isles is up there at the moment on the Camille, but I wonder if he'll actually be able to punish this Jax who does not have flash, and Pun goes for an offensive trade at the perfect time for Isles.
Yup, the counter-strike was already used, and now Pun is in serious danger. Berserker in the same position down here on the bottom side, tries to sidestep the boomerang blade, but Eddie coming in with the flash to get the return on that Q for the kill. It's a 1-for-1 across the map.
The bloodbath continues, Flowers. Bottom side, Berserker not able to stay safe while his support is on a roam timer. Nice punish there from Eddie, uses both summoner spells, and they're able to get it. Look at all those minions dying as, yeah, Inspired's gonna kind of chase through, and he'll be here to kind of pick up these minions, but his camps are topside. Remember, they're desynced, and now, picking up the minion wave, he's got to walk all the way back over to the other side for the camps, and Berserker goes down. He loses out on those ones, so that means the Sivir's gonna be right back, even on farm, and with the extra money from the kill, pulls ahead.
Berserker also playing the lethality Varus. This style has fallen more out of favor after the more recent nerfs to the champion. You have seen more of the lethal tempo, like traditional on-hit attack speed style of Varus lately, but Berserker going to go for those heavy lethality hits considering the enemy team is pretty squishy overall.
Yeah, and they've got a Jackson is in with a really hard to get value out of on attacks against.
Yeah, pretty tough.
Counter-strike and Xin ult, and as you also said, definitely all pretty good targets for burst combos. So definitely agree with the call there, but we'll see because grubs are up and both junglers into the area here.
Okay, let's see what we get out of it as Inspired is working on the first grub, but Team Secret Whales is already sending multiple whales here, and it's no longer a secret as Dhokla has showed up, but he's already lost the Mega Gnar. They get the nice Tempered Fate there onto Inspired, who has to try to escape, and no, the Cosmic Binding has already locked him here into the wall. Inspired drops the Cataclysm to try to make it a 1-for-1. Meanwhile, Isles and Saint going after D-Ray. He tries to survive there with the Shockwave, but still gets caught with the last tick of the Arcane Storm. Dhokla stealing away the last grub to make it a 2-for-1 favoring Lion.
So it's 2 fights here, and they want to continue.
We're not done yet. Dhokla, half a Narbar charge, trying to kite away from Hizto. BA still here, Isles still here, goes in for the hook shot, point blank onto the bar, but it gets away through the magical journey. Dhokla, 80% of the way charged towards Mega Gnar. Hizto fires off the wind, becomes lightning. Just trying to provide an escape route for his teammates.
And that was a valuable delay there from Lion. The minion wave was pushed up on top side, and so they're trying to keep them there in the little skirmish, even though they didn't have Saint with them. So they were committing. They're trying to delay them with just 2 players while Saint gets the push out on mid lane. Much better for their timing as Dhokla
goes in, he hits the Mega Gnar wallop boulder toss combo, brings Pun down to 100 HP, forces the ulti out of the Jax.
Even though the start of that turns out with them catching Inspired, look at what happens on the other side of this fight. D-Ray does not have flash, and so Isles goes in here while Inspired is basically dead on that side with 3 people around him from the Bard ultimate catching and breaking up his EQ combo. But Inspired with his dying breath, he Cataclysm, and he keeps them all there and delays them so they can't join the other side of the fight, and then Dhokla steals the other grub anyway.
Dhokla making the grubs a 2 out of 3 for Lion. This game very close, very bloody, 8 kills in 10 minutes here as we just tick over to that mark on the clock. Dhokla, 2 out of 3 components now purchased for the Trinity Force, slightly ahead of Pun, but it is the only individual gold lead here for Lion. I'm not going to count those bottom leads as really anything because they're not even 10 gold apiece, so bottom lane is pretty much dead even, but it is an advantage for Hizto in the jungle. Isles coming up here into the top side, but Pun is full HP. There's not really a whole lot you can make happen here, kind of just guarding to see if Team Secret Whales tries anything. Isles is going to see Pun phase check him here into the brush. Does a little bit of damage onto the Jax as Isles fires a max range hook shot, looking to get away. Hizto shows up now. Got BA right behind him. Dhokla is still staying very far forward here in the lane. Pun jumps in. Dhokla hits the wall of boulder toss. There it is. 1-2 through the wall they go. Now Isles going to be under some pressure here. Tries to flash away and escape, but no. Pun jumps in. Nice leap strike for the kill, but it's a 2-man Mega Gnar into the wall as Dhokla wants to get one back, and Pun is already down. Berserker showed up looking to put the damage into Hizto. Double kill over to Berserker, and the Varus is fed.
And they send all 5 members from Lion. Berserker using the teleport up to the top side is going to leave the bottom tower open to turret plates, but it doesn't matter because he's going to also hit turret plates on the top side after getting the kills. You can see on the mini-map, they had the early roam call from Saint heading up there, and they're able to make the big difference. Doesn't want to miss the cannon as he goes for the harassment and pushes the Sivir away from it, but Dragon is on the table, so they try and get back to the other side of the map very quickly. That call, you have to believe it was very early in the comms from LYON, because you could see them sending the 4 members up quite early on with the call, trying to bait in a little bit, and then they have the teleport as well from Berserker, the extra person across the map. Now they're resetting for the Dragon back down to this side. Inspired coming out of base, but Berserker sticking mid for a little bit, wanted to get that mid prow, now he's coming for poke.
All right, Team Secret Whales have started up the first Drake of the game, 12 minutes in, very late for this first objective. LYON trying to challenge still. Dragon down to 2,500 HP, Chains of Corruption,
Ooh.
big whiff there. BA getting through the magical journey in time. Now Berserker down a very powerful team fight tool. Inspired and Berserker trying to see if they can steal this away, but Hizto is still right there. Berserker trying to time his arrow alongside Inspired, who jumps in with a combo. It's gonna be slain by Hizto, beautifully done.
Okay, Hizto gets one back, Flowers. You know, everyone blaming him for the early smites before, but he actually combos better off of Berserker's arrow than Inspired does.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which team you're on. Everybody's just looking at the arrow.
Yeah, just watch that guy.
Even if you're telling your friend, all right, I'm going to shoot my arrow at this HP or whatever, Hizto is able to steal this one away. So the stare down goes their favor this time around.
Nicely played there from the jungler on the side of Team Secret Whales. And you can see here in your Coinbase gold grind, it is a close battle so far between the junglers, even in their score lines. 0-1-3 versus 1-1-3. Hizto coming out slightly ahead, but in their inventories, they even have the same amount of pet snackies left. They're both about to get the final evolution of the smite. As now Dhokla again with the Gnar plus wallop combo into the turret. He wasn't able to follow it up with Boulder Toss because the counter-strike threatened to potentially stun him. That could have been a nightmare scenario, so he backs away. Dhokla still commanding about a 600 gold lead here in the top lane 1v1.
Yeah, Dhokla and Berserker with their gold leads here, especially in the mid game. They need to try and get some value here with some poke. Meanwhile, Saint side lane here, pretty easy move up. So all the side lanes push for LYON. They're going to have some extra luxury on their resets as minions dying on both sides, turret plate money for both sides. Big Doke's been doing a lot better this time around. Big Doke's had a pretty good spike too with Trinity Force here with his defensive early items in the steel caps and his Doran's helm too. So feeling very good. Dhokla going to have a nice power spike advantage over the Jax, who does not have a fully completed Trinity Force. Should allow them some good setup on the sides. Rift Herald, of course, also should be their priority since they do have a really good mismatch up there at the moment.
Yep. That's what I'm thinking about. Rift Herald is always something teams want to fight over. And with Dhokla jumping in, Gnar, there's your wallop. He goes for the crunch. He needs one more hit. Dhokla flashes in to get it. That's the solo kill on Pun.
Trinity Force diff right there, Flowers. Look at the inventory, and then you just fight, man, on his spike. Dhokla forces it, and Pun, huge deficit now with the extra kill. That one is going to be painful because another round of minions dying into the turret. Let's see, too.
Jump over the wall from Hizto there where the wind becomes lightning. Tries to engage onto Saint. Chunks him for about 1/3. Tempered Fate to buy a little bit of time through the Arcane Storm. Hizto still staying alive for now. The Crescent Sweep doing a lot, but no! Inspired executes him. TP coming in now. Dokla's already arrived to the fight, and Pun's ready to join now, too. Eddie under pressure. Exhaust goes down onto Dhokla, but now it's Pun who's under pressure. LYON managed to find themselves the single kill, and now they're trying to get out of town, and it looks like they will get everyone away safely. Dhokla transforms into Gnar, but not a whole lot of targets left to use that power on.
Yeah, really good from LYON. Look at that. They get mid power off this. They steal away Grump and blue buff off this. And it was chaining off of Dokla's solo kill because Pun still had a few seconds left on his death timer. Dhokla got to join first. They had the full confidence on LYON. They finish up with the skirmish through the river. It's these timing windows. LYON are doing a very good job methodically making the choices off of these little advantages, and they use them to increase really nice gold rewards after those plays. And Dokla's now level 13, Flowers, to the currently 10 of Pun. And this is another look at him just forcing it. Again, it's a tale as old as time. You get your Trinity Force item spike, you try and force it on the enemy top laner, and Dhokla flashes back in to finish the kill. take a look at live, though. Okay, so Pun has now ticked up to 11, so it's a straight-up full 2-level lead for Big Dokes.
And in game number 1, remember, Saint had the biggest individual lead on the team. In this game, it's been more of a struggle for him. We saw a couple of early laning mistakes that ended up costing him a lot. He's the only one without a lead right now on the team. But even if Saint's having a less impressive game, now Dhokla's stepping up, where in game number 1, he was the one who underestimated Pun's volley bear a little bit, but now he's got over a 1,000 gold lead for himself. So LYON doing a good job, making sure that even when one man struggles, another man steps up to carry the slack. As LYON wants to challenge here for the Rift Herald, Team Secret Wales already has it down to about 5,000 HP. A teleport's coming in now. They immediately want D-Ray ready to join up for this. And LYON's not going to take the fight. Instead, they're going to leave Dhokla bottom lane split pushing.
Yeah, I mean, that's all LYON wanted out of it, is to try and get a summoner spell cooldown, because there was no world where they were bringing Dhokla over, as Saint does some decent damage chasing them off and defending the top side, but he got a lot of work done, Flowers. I mean, Dhokla's all the way up to the secondary tower, and Berserker was able to flex over towards mid, so the Dragon priority should just be guaranteed for them. They've got push and bot in both mid. And LYON now, they're actually attacking top with the Camille trying to punish Orianna, but good respect paid from D-Ray as he backs up.
And Dhokla is 2 full levels ahead. He's about to tick level 14, Pun about to tick level 12. Isles about to tick over into the spirit world as he's too far forward, and Team Secret Wales get themselves a nice punish on the enemy support.
Isles got lost on the timings there. The timing window for LYON was, 10 seconds before that, they were trying to press just Orianna, but then everybody else backs off. Inspired's back into the jungle, Dhokla there, back to the base, and so that's just not a strong timer for LYON to move up on, and Isles gets punished.
Oh, yep, they're going in after Berserker now. They hit the Tempered Fate, but there's no follow-up from anybody else. The Rift Herald's already going to be summoned mid. Charge towards this tier 1 turret here. Does knock the crust off of it, gets a ton of damage, but it will not be able to fully secure the 4th plate. The Dragon is still alive, but it is still also a 4,000 gold lead for LYON as a team, and Dhokla is back in pushing position here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, let's see here, because they're still pinging deep into jungle. It's just all over jungle camps. They don't care about the Dragon right now.
Inspired stepping up. Wants to steal the red buff away from Hizto. Isles and BA also hanging around the junglers here, and Hizto will secure the red. He does have backup nearby. Eddie and D-Ray both capable of closing in, but Saint wants to try to clear out this top lane tier 1 turret. It's Arcane Storm and Gravity Field, both used by Saint, trying to outplay it, but no! D-Ray with the 1v1 punishes Saint again.
Nice flash from D-Ray. He knows, I can finish this. Saint's cooldown is not back up yet. He can't flash away, and that's going to change the map right now. 3 members from TSW want to go for the tower in exchange for Dragon. Teleport for defense here. This is going to be very dangerous. 4 members of TSW here to welcome Dokes.
Dhokla teleports in right as he's about to revert into Mini-Gnar, so he gets the ultimate off, but now he's back in his vulnerable form. He looks for a little bit more damage. He gets 1 kill. Dhokla stays alive. Pun's trying to hunt him down, but he can't quite do it, and Isles arrives to guarantee that Big Dokes will not fall. The defense is successful. Pun is down to 300 HP. He's still trying to run, but Berserker and Inspired are both on the way. Inspired coming up behind him. He wants to get the gank. He goes in for the ulti, but the Cataclysm only finds BA, who has to flash away from the piercing arrow. Eddie already popped on the hunt, just trying to haul his way up here. Team Secret Wales might have got the Dragon in the meantime. Or no, it was LYON who got the Dragon in the meantime. Excuse me, Team Secret Wales got the first one as the Baron finally spawns, and the game remains action-packed.
Yeah, LYON got the Dragon, and the Dhokla bought so much time there. Mega Dokes! He sees the angle to defend, and even with the extra teleport from Pun on TSW to try and further strengthen their dive, he still gets the outplay. Big and bigger and biggest Dokes is coming through, Flowers. He looks at this Orianna, gets a combo, and even with the Mikhails from BA and D-Ray trying to go out to the other side, Dhokla says, hey, you walking right past me? I'm going to finish you off and then still survive. And then Isles is able to keep the chase going. You look at the minimap, they're on the way up through the river already. The Varus and the Jarvan were making their way.
And if the replay is honest right there, it looks like Isles actually had Hextech Ultimatum. If he would have cast that on Pun, potentially could have been an extra kill there too, but not the way it ended up going. Still a 4,000 gold lead here for LYON, and 3,000 of it is on Dhokla. Any fight Dhokla is in, LYON has the advantage. But if Team Secret Whales can find a way to fight where he is not, they still have a really good shot at making something happen.
Meanwhile, Saint has not been hit this game, and so they're keeping him in the split push on side lane where everybody is hovering through the jungle and they have full vision.
Just get fed, buddy.
LYON have full vision through this jungle. Everybody watching, defending here, and they allow the Viktor to get up to the turret plate, hit it a little bit, get another minion wave, and they've got the vision over the Baron as well. So they're still trying to keep Saint's income at a very stable rate here, despite the deaths and despite TSW, punishing him a lot when his flash is not available.
Yep.
And meanwhile, the bottom split push has gotten up to the tower, so now it's safe for Saint to go collect that wave as well, as Pun gets it there. And he does have his teleport for Saint here, so he arrives in time for the cannon, no problem.
Yep, Pun still trying to get away. Isles has shown up to see if there's an additional move to be made. The Arcane Storm is used. Isles going in, slows him down with a Hextech sweep. There's the ultimatum, and Pun gets blasted by the power siphon.
Talk about more money into Saint. Now BA wants to set up on Isles?
Yep,
nobody's there.
Used only on the Camille. Now BA is going to be interrupted as he tries to escape. Okay, that was not what BA wanted.
That was like crazy support ego or something. What the hell? His Sivir was in mid lane, was catching waves. What the heck? I mean,
BA's going to want that back.
They also nerfed Bard's damage, so even in some strange world like pre-nerfs, I still don't think that was good. But also with the nerfs on damage, yeah, LYON will take that.
Yep, I think you take that. 7 days of the week, my friend. 5,500 gold lead for LYON, as once again, it's the bottom lane being pressured by LYON solo laners. Saint has that push now, and you can see Saint getting that kill there on Pun. He now also is at parity with D-Ray. Even though it hasn't been Saint's best game, he's still staying relevant in the overall game state. He's got his Blackfire Torch, he's got his Chovy Belt, he's now got his Seeker's Arm Guard. He's feeling good for the next team fight.
Okay. Well, LYON overall, I think, as well, sharing that feeling with this gold lead actually manifesting in some meaningful spikes. With the spell shield here being picked up by Berserker as well, the poke damage should be very easy for him to move up aggressively and land at these objectives. So LYON are going to have some very good advantages for themselves as far as the range. You get lasers from Viktor, who, as you mentioned, safety of Proto Bell and Flash and an arm guard from Saints. Should be a lot easier for him to play out this fight now, even if they do focus him. So they have, lasers as well as poke damage from Berserker to set themselves up. And it should be fairly difficult for TSW to approach. They're looking for a flank right now, though, into the mid lane.
Yep, Inspired has shown his face, though, so Pun cannot quite get that angle he was looking for on Berserker. Instead, loses over half of his HP and immediately has to disengage with a leap strike. Meanwhile, Dhokla is still positioned in the bottom lane. He took the tier 2 and then backed off out of vision, but now he reappears, seeing that Pun got chunked out over in mid.
Yeah, because Big Doke's got such a good lead in the side lane, and TSW don't have a side lane advantage this game, it's so difficult.
Oh, Eddie gets dove! Cataclysm immediately comes in from Inspired, and as the Chains of Corruption fly out, Eddie has to flash away just to stay alive. Pun escaping down here in the bottom lane as well. BA is nearby, might try to wait until a damage dealer is nearby to get a potential punish onto Dhokla, but it's so hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, TSW, again, it's really hard to operate since they don't have a side lane.
Oh, Inspired, Isles and Saint going in here after D-Ray. Arcane Storm forces the flash out. Tempered Fate, oh no, he's locked up his own mid laner with a gravity field there. D-Ray staying alive though. Mikhail's Crucible gets D-Ray out of danger.
BA saves the day this time. D-Ray is out, and LYON pick up the Drake on the other side of the map. Do they want more?
All right. Dhokla Inspired trying to steal away the Gromp. Hizto with the smite to just clutch onto any resources that Team Secret Whales still can as we take another look at this almost kill here from the top side.
Yeah, D-Ray, I mean, it's a good play from both supports. Isles hovering in the brush. They had the vision control there already. They go for the play, and then as the Ignite, last tick was going to kill him. Holy moly, that could not have been closer. But it lands, and then he gets here with the Magical Journey into Mikhail's combination. So B-Ray saves the day, and D-Ray will thank his teammate there. Meanwhile, I still feel like LYON hold all the cards because they've got side lane dominance. They have poke advantage, range advantage for team fight standoffs around the objectives. They have vision coverage to make those approaches even more difficult for TSW. So TSW, I feel like you got a full send on one side. You know, pick an area, just overload that side with multiple members. Maybe if you have to drop waves to do it, okay, whatever. You're going to have to drop waves to do it. But you're going to have to create something special here. Even without the pressure of the Dragon Soul being very early on in this game, which maybe gives TSW more time to work with. Isles caught though.
Nice tempered fade. Isles could be in a little bit of danger here, but instead he gets himself away. Now teleport coming in. Everybody on TSW is here. LYON still looking to maybe find something. Chains of Corruption finds a target onto Pun. Hizto wants to dive towards Saint, but he stays alive here with the Seeker's arm guard. Pun wants to get away over the wall, has to flash to do it. Hizto trapped inside the Cataclysm, but no damage from LYON to follow it up. BA gets away with 200 HP. Everybody alive on both sides, but it's LYON with much better health bars.
Yeah, and they're gonna make the call to do it. They're gonna pull Baron here, so start leashing with Saint having his teleport back. Let's see about the contest. Is this where TSW pull out the miracle?
D-Ray trying to get out. Isles goes in here with the Hextech ultimatum. Yet again, D-Ray very low. Dhokla grabs the kill. Now Pun's the next target. Again, looking for a way out. Leap strike back to his own teammate. Nice cosmic binding to buy a little bit of time. Pun goes on a magical journey, and LYON does not want to continue the chase. So just a one-kill play for LYON. But again, Pun so gravely injured he cannot participate in another fight. There's no Sivir ulti. There's no Xin ulti. There's no Bard ulti. But there is Baron on the map, and LYON has it in their sights.
Yeah, and LYON have plenty of very threatening CC to turn off of the Baron. So Isles is going to stand watch here, as is Dhokla, and the Baron should be secured quite easily for them. Let's see about... Okay, so they actually send Saint all the way down to take care of the minion wave. Since they have absolutely zero pressure on their Baron, they can push out mid, rotate down towards bottom too. Do they want the... Look, Isles is coming too. They have Hex Gates, so he's delaying on the Scuttle Crab. Saint trying to keep them here while the rest of them...
Okay, Tempered Fate has locked up both Hizto and Saint. Isles coming in here with a hook shot, does stun up Hizto. There's the laser to find the first kill. Now Inspire chasing after Pun. Nice Chains of Corruption to lock up the Jax with a piercing arrow over the wall. Berserker is on a rampage. D-Ray's gonna die next. Double kill for Berserker, and LYON will grab the Baron and transition to the other side of the rift to take out 3.
Very good stuff. Baron Powered Recall. Isles got back, used both Hex Gates to be able to join, and LYON are already inside the base. Flowers, this one, under 30 minutes here. They're already taking down the inhibitor. They have the Baron buff. Saint is going topside to push the topside as well, but the rest of LYON are going to keep up the siege.
Yeah, BA and Eddie are the only two alive for another 10 seconds, and BA is already down. Inspired gets out of the turret aggro in time before he dies. Dhokla just keeping Eddie away. You're going to have Hizto respawn now as Inspired takes his recall. Dhokla with a two-man Mega Gnar back into the Nexus. Isles ready to follow. Piercing arrow gets the kill. Berserker going godlike. LYON going all the way, and LYON are on match point.
And this one was in dominating fashion.